everyone, and welcome to Valley Crafty Corner. I have another layout to share with you using the November Studio Calico Kit called Sock Hop with the poodle skirt add-on. I started out today and I had to, in order to stretch my supplies a little farther, I had to use some of my own cardstock. So that brown cardstock is from I think it's from Close to My Heart, and I think it's Cocoa is I think what the color is. So I had these two 4x6 photos, and I was looking to make the page not super masculine because I wanted it to be about my brother-in-law and kind of an updated family photo of him and the kids. And obviously my sister's the one taking the photo because they're still together, so that's good. But so I'm just trying to like pull out some blues just to kind of keep it a little bit more on the masculine side. You'll see me pull out some pinks, but I definitely don't use any pinks. I was going to use this triangle paper as a border strip, and I flipped it over and I realized that it was that Fifth and Frolic paper that had kind of like the Polaroid kind of print on the other side, and I wanted to use that as a background piece of paper for another layout, so I didn't want to use it, so I had to change my strategy up a little bit. And I actually like how this layout turned out using the different method that I was thinking of. So I just was taking a couple strips from the Fifth and Frolic collection. In that top left corner, that is some scraps that I had left with the Lucille collection from Basic Gray. The Fifth and Frolic is the little bird part in the top right corner. The Fifth and Frolic arrow paper the arrow paper is from Fifth and Frolic. And then that blue strip underneath it is a branding strip from one of those Fifth and Frolic pieces of paper. And it just had arrows, and I had it pointing in towards the photo. So the only thing that I kind of wish I would have done differently is I wanted to use that feather paper, but I ended up covering a lot of it. So I kind of wish I would have maybe cut a little bit of a square out of the middle of it so that I could have used it on another layout, because as you can see here, I end up covering a lot of it. So I guess it is what it is, and I'm not going to complain about it now because I really like how the layout turned out, and I guess that's the purpose of using the papers. It's supposed to be the end result. So, and here I'm just trimming up those pieces of paper. I just wanted them to be kind of centered in the middle, and that one piece I ended up cutting it off a little bit, and it looks a little bit weird, but I'm okay with how it turns out in the end. So again, it's whatever you make of it. I tried using the backside of that Midway ticket strip paper and that pink paper, and as you can see, it just doesn't feel right. It sets it off from all the blue in the top corner there, and it just doesn't look right. So you can see I decide not to do it. You can see I've made a couple cuts on that piece of paper and brought it in, and I still don't like how that looks. So that's not how it ends up being. I kind of went back to the drawing board here, and I knew I wanted to try something else. This layout actually came together quite quickly. I think it only took me maybe an hour and a half. I had a sketch in mind. I think I flashed it right at the beginning. I took Shamel Lane's scrapbook remix class, and I just used one of the sketches from her little video, or her little prompts for the class. I kind of wanted something to help me get started. I kind of knew where I wanted to go, but I wanted a little bit of help on how to have the layout set up. So I really like her class. If you're having a hard time mixing and matching your pattern papers together, um, or to use an old collection and mix it in with some newer collections, the class that she offers is really good. If it's not your strong suit, I know it's not my strong suit. I'm getting better at it. But it was a really good class and very informative, and she had lots of videos, and there was I think 20 prompts altogether, plus there was some extended plays, plus there was it was really good. It was really worth it. I really like her classes. They're very involved. But anyway, that's kind of where I was getting the inspiration for this particular layout. And as you can see, now I've kind of gotten back into using those blues, and you can see how that really grounds what's going on in the photo. It mutes everything down so that you can see the pictures, whereas when I had the pink and the blue down, it was just a little bit too much. It was it was distracting from the photos. Whereas with all that muted blue tones, now you can see everybody in the photo. So that's kind of the general idea of where I was going with this layout. And I'm just starting to kind of attach everything down for right now. And I really like that bird and arrow paper from Dear Lizzie, Fifth and Frolic. I really like that collection. I haven't had a chance to even do a layout using all of the papers yet, and I can't wait until I do. The Studio Calico Kit for November kind of helped me figure out what I wanted to do with it, how to work with the papers without being scared to cut into it. That's the hardest thing for me when I get a new collection, is the fact that I have to cut into such pretty paper. I find it really hard at first, but I really am starting to enjoy cutting the paper up and getting the process started. It's really difficult at first, but I'm getting much better at it. The way I look at it, it's just a piece of paper. If you cut it, you can go out and buy another one. Really, paper is the most inexpensive part of scrapbooking. Once you start adding your embellishments and everything on, that's when it starts to get a little bit more pricey. But I really am starting to get used to the idea of cutting into all my pretty papers, so to speak. So I wanted another piece of paper to kind of get a blue linear pattern to um, that kind of border strip that I have going on, and you can see me cutting out these strips from that large chevron paper. I don't actually end up using them, but you can see that you could definitely use them as strips. It just the only reason why I didn't use it is I just felt that it needed a little bit more pop of color. The papers were kind of getting lost in all that blue. So you'll see me grab a dark brown strip, and that strip is actually from, I think it's one of the Studio Calico exclusives from Basic Gray. It was just on that kind of craft dark brown paper with all the dots on it. So I just cut off the top strip of it to use it on the paper. But you'll see that in a second. And so here I'm just laying down those other strips, and I was just cutting off a little bit on the edge just because I knew roughly about where I wanted it to end, and it's just easier for me to lay it down. And here I was just trying to monkey around with the placement just to see if that's where I wanted it to go. And when I was laying down the picture, I noticed that that piece of paper in the bottom corner was not straight. So here I'm just monkeying around with it and just trying to get that piece of paper straight. So I just thought it would be easier if I put the photo down first, just to kind of see where the corners needed to end up to help me guide it along. And then I'll just tuck it underneath that basic gray paper right there. So now you can see that I'm looking at those strips and I'm realizing that's not going to work. So I was thinking about taking a sticker and covering up that corner there with something, which essentially I did in the end. But here I'm just going through the die cuts and just kind of looking to see what I want to pull out. And I'm going to fast forward so you don't have to, see all this process again. So these are the pieces that I've pulled out that I may or may not use, which a lot of them I don't use. And here I am looking back at the washi tape just to see if there's any of those washi tape pieces that I can use. And that's where you see that brown, that dark brown strip. And so I'm going to use that on the layout, and it just kind of brings a little bit more of that brown in, and it grounds the photo, and I really like how that turned out. So here, just laying it down, and I trim. I don't think I go all the way to the ends. No, I don't. So I just trim that off. And now here I'm just kind of looking through some of the die cuts to see what I want to place down. And I really like that tree. It's unfortunate it didn't work out on the layout, but it definitely will go on another layout, I'm sure. I really liked how that tree looked. So that piece of paper there with a little feather on it, that's a printable from the Studio Calico Kit, or from the collection, sorry. It's an extra thing that you could purchase, and I chose to purchase them this time. I just feel sometimes the kits are a little flat, or embellishment light. In the last few times, the kits have been really light on embellishment, and I wonder if they're doing that just to make you purchase the printables. So I purchased them a couple times, and the way I look at it is it's a never ending thing. You can print it out as many times as you want. So are they a little expensive to start off with? Yeah, they are. But uh, it's unlimited to how many times you can print it out. So is it really all that expensive? Probably not, because you could probably print that out a couple times and use it over and over and over and over again. So it's not overly expensive when you look at the end result of how long you have it for. So anyway, I'm looking through some chipboard pieces here to kind of see what I can use. And this was not in the kit. This was something that I purchased as an add-on, a separate piece. And I really like those pieces in the kit. They are, I don't know what the word is. They're very elegant looking, maybe, that's what I'm looking for. So that 3-piece in the card, like that little card that has 3 on it, that's actually from the Dear Lizzie Neapol, or the Dear Lizzie 5th and Fall collection, and that was die cut accent pieces that were in the kit, and they are really nice. I've used quite a few of them on the layouts already. And here I'm just flipping through in the sticker book to see what I want to use. And I wasn't sure if I wanted to use that sticker yet, so I just take a piece of wax paper, and that's from Mercy Tiara. That's a little tip from her. Just to kind of get an idea of where I want it to go. So I really like that sticker on there. It kind of brought in another color. I'm just ripping off a little bit of it just so that I can see how I like it underneath the photo. And I really like that. And here I'm just adding my layers over top of it just to kind of see what it looks like. And that's kind of where I started to get to the point where I really liked how that looked. And I'm just looking back in the sticker book to see if there's anything else that I want to add, like as a yellow accent to the other side, but nothing really kind of spoke to me. So as a way to kind of stretch that sticker out a little farther, what I did is I cut off a piece of the sticker so that I could use it on the other side. And actually I use it 3 times. I got quite a bit out of that sticker. I expanded it quite a lot. So that was actually an amazing little trick that I came up with. That was pretty awesome. So just layering that sticker down because I'm pretty sure that's how I want that whole piece to go. And here I'm just making my cluster. I really like adding layers of clusters. It adds a lot of depth to the photos. So I really like that. And that's a heart from the Fifth and Frolic collection as well. I don't know if I had said that before. And here's where I'm looking to see how I want to use that yellow piece on the other side. And I'm just messing around with the die cuts, and still I'm just trying to come up with some placement. So, and this is a lot of what I do, is just playing around, just trying to make things fit and see what works good and what doesn't. Everybody has their own process and whatever works for you. But this is my process, and it gives me a chance to play. I don't care if a layout takes me an hour or 2 hours. You know I don't have a lot of time to scrapbook, but when I do, I want to enjoy the process. I don't want to get flustered with, a time allowance or trying to make sure I have a plan in mind. I will start a layout and leave it on my desk several times. I will get to the point where I have a base layout, then I'll start doing embellishments, and I'll walk away several times. I mean, I've got kids too. I do laundry, I do dishes, so I do a lot of different things too, and I just take it in even half an hour increments, and I get a lot done in that time. Here you'll see me punching out those chipboard alphas from Basic Gray, and I don't end up using those, so you'll see me fast forward in a bit here. I just didn't want to let you see the painstaking of me popping them all out and then not end up using them. So here you can see I kind of brushed them to the side, and I took that sticker again and I cut it down again. And so that's going over there, and then that piece is going over in that corner there, and it adds a lot over to that embellishment part of the side, and you'll see what I do here in a second. So I just inked up that little journal spot, and I just added underneath that little journaling spot, and I'm not sure if I do the stamping. No, I do an alphabet at this time. I actually didn't use any of the main alpha stickers, or actually I didn't use any of the alphas from the kit for this one. And I don't know why I bothered with the wax paper, because the backing off of these stickers just ripped right off. These are really old, so I think that's probably why they ripped right off. But I liked how it was a deeper pink than what the other little stickers were. I just wanted to add a pop of a pink because I had that pink heart in the other corner, and I just wanted to kind of pop that pink out a little bit, and that's about as feminine as it was going to get, because like there is a little girl in the photo. I just didn't want it to be over feminine. So I really like how it turned out in the end, and here I'm just mucking around with the placement. And the title's going to be Proud Papa, and here you can see me coming back with thickers, and I'm just trying to figure out what I want to use. And I'm going to use these thickers as well. These are, I don't remember the alphabet, and it's from the Studio Calico Heyday collection. Here you can see I'm pulling out some washi tape to kind of ground those pictures, or sorry, those alphabets. And I ended up not using that pink because it was going to be pink on pink. I wanted to have a little bit of a contrast underneath it. So I pull out this chevron yellow paper, and I'm just tucking it underneath. And so here I'm just tucking it underneath the photo and underneath that little journaling spot. And I think I add another layer of this vellum washi tape just because I needed something else for those stickers to hang off of. It was still hanging in the air a little too much. If I do remember right, I think I added kind of a map looking one. Yeah, I do. And I use this kind of map-ish looking one. And I'm not, I think that one's from the Soleil collection. I pulled them out of the packages to play around with, so I'm not really sure which of the collections it was, but it just added a little bit of pink. And the yellow was needed because there was some other yellow going on in the layout. So it was just a nice little pop of color. So here I'm going to start putting my letters down. I'm just gluing down that chipboard piece just kind of so that I can get my placement of my letters properly. And I just wanted to put the papa down first because it was on the bottom, and I had to glue down these alphabets, so I wanted to make sure that I had the papa in the right spot to kind of like have everything where I wanted it to be. And I had troubles with my glossy accents. It was all plugged up, so that's why I fast forwarded the video for a little bit there, is because it was giving me some grief. And just laying down those thickers, and I'm having issues with my camera not focusing. I'm not sure why it's having an issue, and I think it stays fuzzy for a while here, and I do apologize. And here I'm just keep looking at some of these die cuts to see if there's anything else that I can add. And here's where I take that, I think I come in with the stamp set right now. I'm not sure. I think I look at some fabric stickers, and I do end up putting one down. It's been a while since I made this layout, so I'm trying to remember what I'm doing here. Yeah, so here I'm getting a fabric sticker, and it's going to be, I was thinking of the camera, but it was a little too dark. And then I pulled out the bird, and definitely not. So I pulled out that little white one in the bottom corner. Oh yeah, and I used the heart in the other corner there. I totally forgot about that. And I use that one, and it says home is where the heart is. And you can see there's a little gap there, but I'm going to fill it in with that brad. And I'm going to use a couple feathers. And I only used two, and my thinking was because there was a feather on that journaling piece that I didn't mean to add another one. I thought it was kind of creating the triangle anyway. And here I'm just attaching that brad. And I believe this one is kind of teal looking with some flowers on it. And here I'm just pulling out those enamel dots, and I'm just adding them to accentuate those little embellishment clusters. I think here I'm just kind of thinking of what else the layout needs. And here I'm gluing down those feathers. And I pull out that label or that stamp set from the poodle skirt, and it has a little saying there that says find joy, and it fit perfectly in that little yellow piece where that sticker I had put tucked in behind. So I really liked how that kind of added a little something to the layout. And I believe here I'm going to get into some journaling. Oh, I'm still looking at some enamel dots, and I'm just going to add a brown one to the bottom just to kind of accentuate, and I'm adding another one to the top of that little cluster over there. And then here I think I'm grabbing a pen now for my journaling. Yes, so I'm going to fast forward the journaling so you don't have to watch me finish it. Or actually, I guess you do. I forgot to edit this part out. So sorry about that, guys. It didn't take me very long to journal anyway. It was um, just a quick little notes about what was going on. And you can see there is a gap in between that bottom piece and the journaling of that spot. And I was thinking about what I needed to add. So here I come back in with that stamp set from the main part of the kit, and I'm just using some black ink to stamp up those little kind of feathery kind of looking designs. And I believe that's the layout. So here's some close-ups. And I really like how this layout turned out. Thanks for watching. Bye.